And showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. Look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I'm executive editor of the ChannelPro Network, also a host of this program. Joining me this week, as he does every week, is your other co-host, Eric Simpson, a business transformation and improvement advisor to MSPs and other IT providers. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Rich. I'm counting down the days. It's, I guess, less than 2 working days now here in California before the top comes off of this thing, Rich. They're saying we're going back to normal with a few little exclusions in terms of, mask wearing inside of restaurants and things like that. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go next week.
So what is the first thing you're going to do once it becomes permissible again?
I don't think I'm going to do much of anything different than I've been doing. I don't, I haven't gotten on a plane in well over a year. I do have, some speaking engagements that I'm being asked to consider here in Q4 this year. But I think for the next 30 days or so, maybe go out to dinner once or twice. That would be nice. I did have that experience recently where a client flew down and met him he and his significant other for dinner, which was the first time I had had dinner out in well over a year. So I missed that. I missed a little bit of a dining experience rather than having, cook everything here in the house or having food delivered and things like that. That would be nice, I think. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go out and sit in a big theater, though, and watch a blockbuster yet.
Well, I will say this quickly before we move on. We just did another one of our ChannelPro SMB forum events in Dallas this week, which is actually the first kind of event with an in-person component to it that we've done in well over a year, 15 months, and it was really nice to see and be around 3-dimensional flesh and blood people after a long absence. So sooner or later this year, you and I maybe will actually go out to a restaurant somewhere, and we won't just interact via Zoom full time.
And I will relish it all the more for it.
All right, well, let's dive into our top story this week, and it comes to us from Enable, the company you may have once known as SolarWinds MSP. They've rebranded within the last 6-7 months or so. They held their annual Empower conference. That's their big partner conference of the year. It was held online this year. They're planning to do it in person again beginning next year. Lots of content, lots of information presented, some of it of a shorter term nature, some of it of a longer term nature. So short term, we learned that they have got new DNS filtering, new DNS security capabilities coming to the platform. They are delivering this to their partners with a company called DNS Filter. Some of you out there might be familiar with. Similar to a strategy Enable has been utilizing quite extensively in recent years, where they will add a feature, a capability to the platform by partnering with another vendor. They have partnered with Cisco Meraki. They've partnered with SentinelOne on EDR, for example. They have an alliance relationship with Microsoft around Microsoft's Intune platform for mobile device management. So now they're adding DNS filtering. They're doing it with DNS Filter. We also know that they have a client analytics system coming along shortly. All of this is within the next few months, basically. And so they're going to take a look at all of the telemetry, all the data they're collecting from the endpoints you manage as an MSP, the endpoints that they manage collectively across the entire partner base that they support, and doing some predictive analytics essentially around where the issues might be arising, where you have or may be on the verge of having performance bottlenecks, for example. They're going to provide some diagnostic information about that. Just as interesting, though, to me was sort of the longer term roadmap that they outlined. In April, they brought a new chief product / CTO officer or chief technology officer on board. His name is Mike Adler. I haven't actually had a chance to meet him yet, but he gave the roadmap presentation at Empower. And, without getting terribly detailed about this, a lot of it was kind of big picture. You did get a sense for Enable significantly expanding the range of features and functions that they provide. And so there is going to be some cloud management coming to this platform. They called that out as something that they want to be able to do, the sort of equivalent of an RMM system for endpoints. They want to be able to do that for software as a service. They have a quoting system coming. We saw Datto, for example, ad quoting. ConnectWise has been doing that for a long time. Didn't learn a lot about how or when this happens, but this was on the chart that he showed for things that they will be doing at Enable. So they're clearly looking to make some pretty significant investments in the platform. This will no doubt be assisted by the capital that they're planning to raise if and when, and it's still officially an if, but I think we all believe it's a when, they split from SolarWinds and become an independent publicly traded company. They still appear to be on track to do that at some point. That will enable them to raise some capital, focus their attention on expanding the platform. And interesting, Eric, in particular, to see them talking about cloud management, because I think that is, as the whole SMB world kind of shifts faster and faster into the cloud, cloud management is going to become gradually, steadily more and more important, frankly, than endpoint management. And it's interesting to watch the Enables and the Dattos and the ConnectWises of the world try to make that transition and keep up with the market.
Yeah, it certainly seems that they're that they're playing all the hits, right? They're playing from the playbook that says, oh, we need to, provide a single source, a single pane of glass for everything that our clients needs. I mean, partnering with these other vendors is super smart, right? Because now a partner can say, oh, I can get my DNS filtering, I can get this analytics, I can get this monitoring, all within my ecosystem of my preferred partner vendor. Instead of, and as you know, Rich, I work with a lot of partners helping them build out their bundles and packaging and pricing. And it's always, okay, well, what vendor is going to fill in the DNS filter? And what vendor is going to fill in this? So the more that you can offer that as a single, let's say everything on the menu from that restaurant that you're eating in at the moment, right? The better for everyone, the better for the partner, the better for the MSP, the better for the upstream vendor partner, because we can create closer relationships and improve on those things. So that one, good strategy always, and involving the things that clients need and partners can sell. Oh, DNS filter, that's an easy one to bundle, and of course we're going to do that, right? On the other side of the house, I totally expect vendors that are growing in their operational maturity level to see and embrace and accelerate this support of these cloud platforms. I mean, at the end of the day, if you kind of step back, at a high level, I think if we looked at what has happened, I know we've been kind of really focused on the pandemic and the things, remote workforce and things like that, and security is a big issue, but at the end of the day, we're all moving toward the cloud. We're all moving toward the cloud. So it's smart for these vendors to focus on solutions that can help their partners move more quickly to the cloud and support their clients and remove some of that, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt about, well, should I move to the cloud? I like, hugging my servers and all that. No, we're moving to the cloud, everybody. So get your strategy straight, partner up with the vendors that are going to help you fulfill that vision for your clients and for your organization, and help you thrive in this new, kind of foreshadowing a little bit of my tip of the week, Rich, but into this next normal that we're moving to, and we're not going back, right? We're moving forward. Good strategy. I think what we're seeing is just kind of the effect of having big strategic thinkers, and of course, as you mentioned, Rich, the potential for investment and being well funded in order to execute some of these big swings for the fence.
And my question is always, with any of these established, highly or well-regarded vendors who have been in the RMM PSA space for a long time, my question is always, how quickly can they make that pivot towards the cloud? Because you're right, that's where the market is going, faster than ever right now. These companies are very heavily invested in endpoint management, and that's just less and less of it's going to be less and less of a priority for MSPs out there. So it's a smart thing, it's a necessary thing to be more invested in cloud management. The question is just how quickly can they do that? Who does it faster than the next guy? How big an advantage is that for that vendor? And where do these smaller companies born in the cloud, smaller, management companies like Augment and Skykick and CloudBolt and Nuvalex, what kind of part do they play? What kind of advantage do they get maybe as these larger companies kind of scramble to catch up? It's definitely going to be a big story to keep an eye on going forward. But as you say, Eric, your tip of the week kind of follows on from this new world that we're talking about here.
Absolutely. And it's all about evolution, Rich. It's all about evolving the business model that we are executing. MSP, CSP, MSSP, whatever it is, hybrid, call yourself whatever it is that you call yourself. But we can't continue doing business the same way we've done it historically, because the world has changed. The world has changed. It's Rich, it's incredible to think, but it's been well over a year that the World Health Organization, informed us that we have a pandemic. It's been well over a year that the novel coronavirus has impacted and touched every single one of the almost 8 billion people on this planet. And that means that, yes, personally it's touched us, but also professionally and from a business perspective. So, my challenge to the channel pros out there that subscribe to our channel and listen to our podcast is, to sit down and really analyze how you need to evolve your business model to thrive in this next normal. You and your customers and clients are thinking, or should be thinking, the same thing. Your clients are thinking, holy cow, right? The easy ones are, wow, we were able to get through the pandemic with remote workforces. What does that mean to our strategy moving forward? How does that impact our hiring decisions and our budgeting for office space and things like that, right? There are meaningful conversations to be had here. How does that impact the way that we market and sell? Are we doing more of that virtually? Are we investing more digitally? And this goes for the MSPs as well. And how are we delivering service, and how are we managing these distributed workforces? So your client's strategic concerns should be your own strategic concerns, because you are business owners, operators, and staff that support and lead the growth of your business with whatever business unit you're in. So again, I just challenge you to sit down and think, holy cow, how can we adjust what we're doing from a marketing and sales and service delivery perspective to thrive in this next normal and offer better services and solutions, moving perhaps more rapidly toward the cloud, embracing security and leading with that, and presenting those as our primary offerings rather than, old legacy infrastructure management, right? So it's a sea change. It's a different way of perceiving things, Rich, and being a little bit more forward thinking and thinking much, much bigger. So that's ultimately a challenge here. Think big, think really big. Think what happens in 5 years and 10 years and how you're going to grow the organization, right? Beyond where we are now, and how you continue to skate to where the puck is going to be and lead your competition rather than, kind of try to keep things going, same old, same old. I mean, what got us here isn't going to get us there. So that's the tip of the week this week, Rich.
As you say, pretty much everything about the world has changed enormously in the last 15, 16 months. It should go without saying that pretty much everything about IT and the SMB channel has got to be changed to some degree as well. If nothing about your business and the way you run it is changed, that might actually be a red flag. That might be a problem. And certainly it would reflect, as you're saying, Eric, you're probably not thinking big enough. Just to provide an example, a kind of specific example of something that I hear more and more often from channel pros out there these days. Now that everybody has seen that, hey, actually, most of the time my techs can do their job from home and it works out pretty well. Well, that home no longer needs to be within 25, 50 miles or whatever of your office. I mean, theoretically, you could be recruiting employees from anywhere in the country, as long as they're, willing to work during business hours in your time zone, whatever time zone you're in. Your hiring territory has grown enormously now. That's something to kind of think about in terms of how you run the business. The same goes potentially for the clients you support. Do you need to sit down face to face with every one of your clients, or could you potentially grow your business to cover a much wider territory than you were targeting before? Asking, and the answers, to those questions might be no. It might be I don't want to do that. But asking the questions, I think, in those and a wide range of other areas is a really wise idea right now.
I agree. I'm doubling down on everything you said. In fact, I have partners today that are hiring these folks without regard to geographic location. And as a result now are even able to offer 24/7 support, like thinking really, really big, saying, oh my goodness, I can hire really cost effective, but highly trained and efficient technical resources from all over the world now. And we can offer services that follow the sun through that strategy. So again, I just say, challenge everything that you're doing in every area and see how it fits or needs to be modified in order to take advantage of this tremendous opportunity. This is, this flywheel is spinning. And the MSPs and channel pros that are strategic about it are really going to do very, very well over the next, 12 to 24 months. I mean, this is positioning right now for the next wave of business growth.
All right. Well, that leaves us with time for just one more story this week, and it comes to us from South Korea. It concerns an invention that would probably be much needed by, much appreciated by somebody or maybe even you, if you are one of those people who goes charging up city streets looking at your phone instead of what's going on around you. This might be helpful to you. It's a robotic eyeball, we are told by Reuters, that you kind of put on it. There's like a cap that it comes with. It goes over your forehead. And it's sort of looking around. It's your third eye, essentially, kind of looking around at what's around you. If it senses that you're within a meter or two of something or someone and about to go charging into them, it gives you a little a beep to warn you of the impending danger. And the designer of this product said, "This is the look of future mankind with 3 eyes." So, it's kind of, nice to have alternatives, right, Eric? I mean, one alternative would be maybe keep your eyes on where you're going. But if you insist on keeping your eyes on your phone instead, well, here's a useful little device that'll at least keep you from plowing into a lamppost.
If that's the look of humanity as it's coming, then, sign me off of that list, please. I mean, I do enough defensive walking, when I have to go somewhere and avoid these people that are just going to charge into you and knock you over. It's interesting that they're trying to solve for a problem that is, I think, who knows? That is just so weird. Yeah. So beep, beep. So it's lane avoidance for humans.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yep.
Crazy.
Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us in the 5-minute roundup. That's all the time we've got for this week. We're going to be back again next week with another episode for you. We are both a video and a podcast these days. If you are watching us, hey, why not check out the podcast? You'll find us on Spotify, Apple, Google, anywhere you get your podcasts. Go ahead and subscribe there. If you do, maybe take an extra second or two, give us that coveted 5-star rating. It'll make us a little bit easier for other people to find and enjoy. Hey, if you're listening to the podcast right now, check us out on video. We're on YouTube. Easiest way to find us is to go to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube. Go ahead and become a subscriber there. If you click the little bell icon, you'll actually get notified when the new episodes become available. To read more about what happened this week at Enable's Empower event, but also to catch up on what's happening in the industry, get great business growth advice for your company, please visit channelpronetwork.com every day, because you will find awesome new content there for you every day. And to learn more about Eric and the work he does with his clients, you should go to ericksimpson.com. That is ERICK Simpson.com. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, folks. We're going to be back again next week. Until then, please enjoy the rest of your week. Eric and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.